Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over cryptocurrency market and the markets in general. I know I haven't been on the tubes. I've been on Twitter for a little bit, posting a little bit of information here and there, guys. But um, what's been going on is I've been actually been doing a lot of studying of looking at some data and stuff like that. A lot more than I'm going to show you here on the YouTube video. And by the way, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Be really, really appreciated of what's going on. And I'm going to put some things out there where Bitcoin's going to go up. Probably want to be careful coming into for Bitcoin. I would say start August, September, maybe October-ish. It's all going to depend because from 1 month to the next, a lot can happen in 1 month, guys. Okay, so I have data now for the NASDAQ because of the monthly close with Bitcoin on a monthly close, and things look really, really good. You have to realize things can change in 1 month, especially in cryptocurrency or any of these tech stocks. Things can change really, really fast. Okay. So what I'm saying is, can things go bearish in 30 days? They could. They could. So I'm just saying be careful as some of the data I'm looking at going into probably August, September, maybe October for Bitcoin. All right. So first I want to go over the old NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ is more than likely so far, guys, is going to be up and to the right, probably for the rest of the year. Okay. It's going to have corrections along the way, but I think this is just going to continue to melt up. You still have quite a few folks that are pretty bearish. The thing is with the NASDAQ, guys, is that, wherever this is going to end up, okay, so you're going to have a massive leg. At some point, there will be a nice correction. Okay. It's going to be the same thing for Bitcoin. So you just want to be careful with that, guys. You can obviously see trend to correction, right? So at some point, there will be a nice correction on the NASDAQ. All right. I'm not 100% on if this is a new bull trend or is this a last leg of this whole cycle. I don't think so. Or is this like some sort of massive move to do a counter trend back over here? Kind of like what it usually does, guys, on the NASDAQ. Down, up, and then down, and continue on the trend. It could do that. That's something, that I'd look at. So Elliott waves is good for looking for the trend, guys. You don't trade Elliott waves. Not by themselves, you don't. It's not possible. I don't think it's possible, guys. Even though some claim that they do. They're using more data to trade Elliott waves, obviously. By themselves, not going to work, but just not going to know what this is going to be. So the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, guys, looks strong. And this is a really good cheat sheet for Bitcoin in itself. And this is the trend that I'm looking for on Grayscale is that it came up. You see that little tick right there I have? You probably can't see it very much right now. That is actually a gap fill on the futures chart. So you can see this massive weekly gap. It filled that. There's a little tiny one that it filled it there. And there's potentially a little bit of a correction. And then it's going to go up, probably test the 200. There's another gap in this area right here, okay, at 23. And I'm thinking that I'm not thinking, the data is kind of suggesting it's going to come up into this pink area probably before the end of the year, guys. So that means Bitcoin is going to be on the same trend, more or less, okay? So, but the thing you want to be aware of with GBTC is that it's going to come up here. Wherever it ends up, there will be a correction, in my opinion. This is not going to continue to shoot up, guys. So you want to be aware of that. How long is the correction going to be? Don't know. MicroStrategy, checking that out too, get some data on MicroStrategy. Looks like it's kind of the same thing. Wants to go up to the end of the, and not end of the year. I want to say September, October-ish timeframe, and then go into a correction. So I have GBTC, MicroStrategy, and it's going to flow with the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is probably going to go up and then go into a correction. Okay. So the important thing is with the NASDAQ is that it stays in this trend. Okay. Even though the NASDAQ might be correcting, it's like what I'm saying is that even though the NASDAQ is correcting, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is always going to be exactly, the NASDAQ's correcting, so Bitcoin has to correct. As long as it's in this trend, you have a good shot that Bitcoin is going to continue to trend up itself too, guys. So going over Bitcoin here, it's at 30,000, once again, being boring. And there might be a shot up to 31, 32. and then a minor correction. So what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, guys, in this area is maybe another push up to 31.5, and it might come down and do a half fill on this gap. Or if you see the 200, you can see the 200. This is the weekly. It's above it, and it may go just like that. And you may have it tap on top of that 200. Okay. But in the 9 period moving average will go up just like that too, guys. So might have a little move down like that. And in my opinion, that may be your last shot for an entry on Bitcoin to start getting out of there like so, guys. I don't think Bitcoin is going to correct very much. Okay. So I'm looking at 29-ish, 20K, 28K-ish, somewhere around there. And so it'd be the same thing for Bitcoin, guys. Just taking a look at the whole trend of the with GBTC and what MicroStrategy is going to be doing and what the NASDAQ is going to be doing, maybe some of the assets. And right now, I think a target for Bitcoin, which is realistic, is the 40 to 46 to as high as 48K, right in that area. Now, here's the thing you want to be aware of for anybody who's in Bitcoin right now. You want to pay attention to this trend, okay? Because there could be an end there and end there with a big correction, or it could continue to trend all the way up to 55. I'm not going to know. Nobody's going to know. But the thing is right here. So what I would look for is something like this, guys. You see this? And I would take that and just kind of go like that. If we have an end of a trend where this is 5-way move and we have another 5-way move like that, you want to be careful in this area. What you want to see if you're bullish is another correction down here and another push up. So then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But if it's doing a 3-wave swing, that's going to be a critical area. So once Bitcoin starts heading up in this direction, you want to be careful in that area, especially with this supply zone hit that it'll have up here. So you can see on the, I don't have it on there anymore, but this whole area right here where Bitcoin was, a lot of people talk about that. These support over here, and now became resistance, is hanging out. This is a massive supply zone area, and it's going to go up. So this supply zone area right here, it touched it, it came back down, corrected. Now it's testing it. It'll come back down. It's going to get beyond that and turn this whole area into support, more than likely, okay, which is good, which means it's going to get up to this next one, okay? And you can see that on the 12-month and on the 6-month and on 3-month charts. So what's going on, if you take a look at it on higher time frames, on the 12-month chart, okay, for Bitcoin, is you see you can put together the smart money moves, because you have this area right here, okay? This area, this bottom area, and then a tag with these 2 candles right here. These are probably obvious support right here. And it's making a move back up into these areas, and as high as, it can get as high as 68K, guys. It really could, depends on what it could push up. So, and you can see it on the 3-month chart or the 6-month chart too, guys. So you see this whole area right here came back down, and you have a zone right here, this area right here, and smart money's pushing it up this way. So basically trick a lot of retail. That's why retail is still not in Bitcoin, because they think it's one big fake out. And that's how it usually works. Okay, it's fake. And then by the time it gets above 48K, that's when a lot of more are going to enter in and think, okay, it's a new bull market. And that's actually going to be the zone that's going to be probably the most dangerous, if you will, guys. So you want to be paying attention to that area. And that's kind of what I'm getting out of the data that I'm looking at for Bitcoin, guys. Now, how is this going to affect the altcoins? The other thing is with Bitcoin on the data that I'm looking at is that it's going up, possible even high as 55K. So really a 40 to 46 to 48K is a really good zone, but also to 55 and maybe wicks above that. However, on Ethereum's giving signals it wants to be stronger, guys, at the end of the day, and get up and potentially break an all-time highs moves, guys. It's just going to depend on how it's going to move out of here and get above this whole supply zone on Ethereum, and then turn that into support. If it does do that sometime in this year, you'll be looking at $5,000 targets, in my opinion, for Ethereum. Whether it's going to be at the end of 2023 or going into 2024 remains to be seen. But just a lot of signals are pointing towards Ethereum becoming. What I'm saying is that Bitcoin seems like it's going to get near all-time highs and not really break them, and then Ethereum has a potential to actually break all-time highs, guys. So that's what I'm saying. Basically, is what I'm kind of looking for. Like I said, I could be wrong. I'm wrong often, so take it with a grain of salt. If that's the case, that'll be really, really good for Ethereum. So now I've been paying attention to some others on YouTube say, okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Now Ethereum is the one that's going to lead the way, and all the other altcoins are going to be smashed. And that is true with a lot of altcoins. So you want to be selective with your altcoins, which one you're in. And if you have losers in the altcoin market, you're going to have to be very, very proactive and cut your losers quick. Okay, cut the losers quick and get into the winners. So as an example, the one that I think is Engine Coin, guys. Engine Coin, I was looking at it. Engine Coin is looking strong. Phantom is pretty good. Gala is still pretty good, even though it's hanging out. Unbelievably, Solana is too. Solana, Nakamoto Games, are just some ones that I'm looking at. Top of my head, guys, I can think of that I was checking out. So, XRP. I've gone over XRP quite a bit, and XRP just seems like it's trying to set itself up to start making these moves up here, guys, but it's starting to point more towards it wants to start hanging out a little bit longer before it starts shooting up out of there, guys. Unfortunately for XRP, like I said, I could be wrong about that. Its structure in here looks pretty good, especially being above these moving averages on the weekly chart, and the 9, the 21, and the 40 all in order like that, kind of like it is over here. Unless XRP is going to probably do what it's done in the past and just like sit there, and you can see it's a real quick shot, a real quick shot, a real quick shot, and that could happen with XRP, guys. And so very, very a lot of mixed messages with XRP, guys. So a lot of mixed messages in the markets overall. Just taking a look at everything with the NASDAQ, GBTC. Not a lot of mixed messages on GBTC, guys. It's really not. GBTC really wants to do this move right here. Okay. And I'm pretty confident that if GBTC is going to make a move like this into the pink zone, which is a massive supply zone, and I have targets of 38 and as high as 52, and then a tag up there to 59, whether it's going to do it by the end of the year, it appears it may be doing that. And that's going to be a pretty massive move. And if it does that from where it is right now, you're really just looking at 100% and maybe a 200% move. And off the bottom, GBTC from that peak right there is already 144% move. So to think that it can't do that in a pretty short period of time is not unreasonable. But if GBTC is going to do that move, I would suspect that Bitcoin. So this is like Bitcoin's top, right? You think here was Bitcoin at 50, no, was it 65, something like that, 65K-ish. It came back down. It didn't break the high, but Bitcoin went up to 69K on this next wave up over here. So you can kind of think that Bitcoin may be in that zone. So that's what I'm checking out, guys. I want to give you that quick update of what I'm looking at. But I'll say that it doesn't look like it's going to be, Bitcoin is going to be super, super bullish going into a third wave for some reason. I'm just going to be straight with you guys. It does not seem like it's going to be doing that. However, you want to be prepared for that. Okay, because you do have a really good argument with Bitcoin. So let me take off everything right now. So you have a really good argument with Bitcoin right here in this move, okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Came back down. If that's a second wave, this wave should be very, very aggressive, guys, if that's a third wave. Like, it should be, this is a third wave over here. You see this wave? Boom. This whole thing's a third wave. Came down for a second. Here's your 1, 2, here's 3, 4, 5, right? That's what this wave should be like. It should not be hesitating. It does so far have characteristics, potentially a third wave. Came down with a shallow correction. It was not even 50%, I don't think, but it was on GBTC. But this move should start being pretty aggressive. And once it's done and does a correction, it should be able to get into that 40K range pretty quick, guys, fairly quick. And as time goes on, it should start getting more and more aggressive on the way up too. So, and the FOMO will come in. That's what you want to be looking for. It shouldn't hesitate too much. All right, guys, that's the end of my video. If you did make it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.